What's up, everybody? I've been MIA for a little bit, but tomorrow is the bass opener for Southeastern Ontario, Zone 18 and 20. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be heading out to do some bass fishing with Ben from Conjuring Rock. And I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this day for like ever since the ice melted. What I've got here is all the stuff I'm taking with me to go bass fishing tomorrow. It's a lot, actually. It's more, now that I'm looking at it all spread out here on my table, it's a lot of stuff. And I'm probably only going to use about 5% of it. But I'm going to go through some of it with you. Not all of it, because I want this video to be short and sweet. Let's get into the baits. The very first thing that I'm really excited about is yesterday I got a chance to go to pick up a bunch of baits from Steve Pixley, the owner of Kicker Custom Lures. You might remember a package I got from him in my giveaway to get to 100 subscribers. So I've got a bunch more baits from him, but these ones are for me, so I'm going to use these ones. So what I have here, I don't know if you can see that right there, is a whole whack load of amazing jigs. And I plan on smoking some hot bass tomorrow on them. That's for sure. So the first one I've got here, this is one of his chatterbaits with a little underspin in his sunfish pattern. This is a 3/4 ounce, I believe. And man, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. Look at that. That is just beautiful. And of course, Steve, when he ties his skirts, I mentioned it before. I don't know if you can see this right here. That's a copper tie, no elastic. So these skirts are going to stay on no matter what's biting. So that's a chatterbait I'm going to use. Here I've got a little flipping jig, I think. I actually don't know. I just told him I wanted a couple of things in that sunfish pattern and for the rest of it to surprise me. So, whoops, there we go. Here I've got a flipping, I think it's a flipping jig. And it's really nice. He's got these little rattles on it too. So this is really cool. I can't wait to slam some bass on this one. I've got another spinner here. This is, I don't know what this color is, but it is gorgeous. It's like a purpley kind of shad color with a white head. This is a 1/2 ounce. I've got another one tied on that I'll show you after. 1/2 ounce of that. I think that for a trailer for this one, one of these guys right here. These are the little paddle tails that I made. I think that's gonna look really nice with that. Yeah, I'll probably pair this up with one of those. Of course, I loved his Ned jigs, so I asked him for a couple of Ned jigs. I've got this one in a nice sunfish pattern. And if you remember the last video that I did about a pike that just wrecked my Ned head, the hook on this one is a lot more stout. So I'm pretty sure that if I hook into a pike like the last one, which wasn't very big to be honest with you, I'm not going to have to worry about the hook on this one bending out on me. This is a much thicker hook. So that's really cool. That's it. The rest of the baits that I got for him, I actually have tied onto my rod. So I'm going to start with a few of them tomorrow. Of course, I've got, for top water, I've got a bunch of stuff. But the ones I'm really excited about, last year I bought this Lunker Hunt Phantom Spider and I never used it. I didn't get a chance to use it at all. So I'm really hoping that tomorrow the conditions are going to be good for some top water action and I can hook some bass with this bad boy. I've got, no top water arsenal would be complete without a whopper plopper. River to Sea. This is the 90, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, 90. So this one is the monkey butt color. This has caught me some sweet bass and pike actually too. So I'm probably going to throw this a little bit tomorrow if the conditions permit. Got some topwater frogs. What else do I have here? I've got my paddle tails that I made. I've got a few different colors. I'm not going to go into detail too much about the stuff that I made because you've seen it in some of my videos. I've got a whole, man, like if you just see this, all these baits here, this is just a binder full of X-Zone lures. So like I said, while I'm making my own baits, X-Zone just make incredible soft plastics and I love them. I've caught some of my best bass on X-Zone lures, soft plastics. So, I just have a whole array of them. I'm not going to go into them too much. But I've got that stuff. I got some tubes here. I've got these guys, white tubes. I've got, where's my baby bass ones? But I have these in a baby bass color as well, which I caught my personal best walleye on last November, I think. I never knew that walleye eat tubes, but apparently they do. So I'll be throwing these. Of course, all the worms and stuff, their true center sticks are just crazy, crazy, crazy good. But tomorrow, the very first soft plastic worm I throw is not going to be an X-Zone lure worm. It's going to be, I'll be back. It's going to be this guy right here, which I have just wacky rigged. And this worm is one of the very first stick baits that I ever made with my do-it molds. And actually, I made a bunch of them for my buddy Ben from Conjuring Rock. I mentioned him earlier. I actually made him a bunch of these and a couple of my paddle tails. So I'm going to give them to him tomorrow when we go fishing, and hopefully we're going to get hooked up off of this guy right here. So I'll try this for a little bit, and then if I don't get anything on this, then I'll probably switch over to one of my X-Zone stick baits. They're true center sticks. Next up, one of Steve's lures that I have tied on. If you remember from my giveaway, this Goby patterned Ned jig, I just absolutely fell in love with. I've never used it before, but I gave it away, obviously. But I really wanted one for myself, so I asked him if he'd put one of those together for me too, and he did. I've got it paired up here with a Z-Man Elaztech TRD in just this, whatever this, I don't know, kind of green pumpkin seed color is. This is another one of his spinner baits in the 1/2 ounce sunfish pattern, but on the back I have one of my paddle tails. So this is one of the very first ones. This is actually from the very first run of the very first soft plastics I've ever made. So I thought that looked good with all this chartreuse and orange here. Hopefully that's going to drive some bass wild tomorrow and you know, make them real angry and want to eat this thing. I'll leave a link to Steve's Facebook page in the description below. So if you're interested in some of his just outrageously good jigs, you can head over to his Facebook page and hit him up for some. You know, I've got this box of like different types of hard baits. I've got some crank baits, I've got some jerk baits, I've got some swim baits, I've got a couple glide baits. If you remember the out of season bass I caught a while ago, the smallmouth bass that I caught on this Northland Buckaroo hair jig, this thing is really cool too. So I'll be throwing this as well. That's it. I hope you guys liked seeing what I'm going to be using tomorrow. And for all the rest of you who have bass open all year round or who have had bass open for a while, you know, I'm super jealous. But, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to get this video out because I have still 2 other videos that I'm in the process of editing. One where I caught a bunch of multi-species stuff a while ago. And the other one was where I made all these baits for Ben. But I made all these for him. So there's a bunch of stick worms, a couple paddle tails in some different colors. So I'm going to give these to him tomorrow. That's really it. That's what I'm going to be throwing tomorrow. Of course, I've got a couple of other little Z-Man stuff too that I'll be using on my Ned heads. Maybe some of the Ned jigs that I got from Steve, but that's it. I'd love to hear what you're going to be throwing on Bass Opener if you live in Southern Ontario, where it's going to be open tomorrow for us. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.